Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Mayple Academy events. My name is Ben, I do the content at Mayple, and we have Sandra Stepan, and she's going to be talking about influencer marketing. And as always, just to remind you guys the format, we got 30 minutes of the presentation, and then we're going to play Stump Sandra, where we ask her questions. You can ask her anything you want, and we're going to try to ask her the hardest questions that she won't be able to answer. But joking aside, ask her anything you want. She could take a look at your campaigns. You could post links to posts you've had or influencers you've worked with or any kind of question, and we'd love to take a look at it together. And just a little bit about us. We're Mayple. We're a platform and a community of vetted marketing experts that we match with businesses. And our experts have proven experience in specific niches, and we could match you with them and help you rock out. So without further ado, Sandra, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Ben. I will most likely talk for more than half an hour just so I don't get stumped. But hi, everyone. So happy to be here. Thank you very much for joining this morning, afternoon, and evening, whatever you are in the world. Today, we're going to be talking about how to create a perfect influencer marketing campaign for Q4, because Q4 is around the corner. I don't know about you, but for me, September rolls around. In my mind, it's already Q4. Like, you got to prepare right now. I am actually going to start today with a little bit of a trivia time. And don't cheat. You don't have to Google this. I'm just curious to see if anybody knows, what do Charli D'Amelio, Bella Poarch, and Josh Richards have in common? Besides, of course, some of you, most of you probably scratching your heads, asking yourself, who on earth are these people? I'm going to wait 5 seconds because it's it's a question you may not know how to answer, but I'll answer it for you. And don't feel bad if you don't have any ideas. That's okay. I'll tell you what these three folks have in common. So even if you haven't heard from them, these three people, they have the attention of millions of your potential buyers, about 200 of them, millions, not 200 people. So these three TikTok influencers are the influencers that are doing the dancing, the get ready with me, the trends. They make faces, and cumulatively, they have hundreds of millions of followers. I say 200 million here because the top influencer, yeah, they are TikTok influencers, exactly. And these are actually part of the top paid influencers. By the way, the more I smile, the more my teeth look orange with this background. So please disregard that. I may giggle about it throughout the presentation. I've noticed it now. But these people, they are some of the highest paid influencers in the world on TikTok, and they have some of the highest followers. So Bella Poarch has about 100 million followers, and if you've seen any of her videos, she makes a lot of dancing faces. She's cute, and she's got the attention of your potential buyers. So I want you to imagine this for a second as marketers, as brand owners. So imagine that your customer, your target customer, Sarah, not Sandra, but Sarah, she's 28, she loves food, she loves travel, she loves fashion. Yes, this is very cliche. I'm trying to cast a wide net over all of you and try to appeal to as many of you here. While she's sipping her delicious coffee in the morning, most likely a latte, because apparently people who drink plain coffee like myself, they, I don't know, they're not cool anymore. Anyway, just TikTok talk. We're not going to pay attention to that. But while she's sipping her coffee or latte, she's scrolling to her feed. She's not really checking on her friends. We don't do that anymore, by the way. That's something that I've learned as a millennial from the Gen Z. With our friends, we usually just send them funny memes on WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger groups or Instagram groups. But she's checking on her top influencers to see what they're up to, what kind of dances they're doing, what get ready with me videos they have. And your target customer, Sarah, she sees a product that she's influenced to buy. She loves it. And cha-ching, she buys that product because Bella Poarch, in between her faces, she's promoting this one brand product. Now, I want you to imagine that that is your product that Bella Poarch is promoting. So take a second, imagine that. Cool. I only have half an hour of talking, so I'm going to move on, okay? Imagined? Yeah? Good. So Now let's make it happen for you. Let's make that cha-ching that is coming from an influencer with 200 million followers go for your brand. That's what we're going to do today. So just a very short recap. My name is Sandra. I am a digital marketer. I've been running my marketing agency for 7 years, and I have helped brands deliver or gain more than $1 million in email marketing revenue and content creator revenue. Today, specifically, I want to walk you through how you can create the perfect influencer campaign for Q4. That means a campaign that works for your brand, that brings you results, the results you're looking for, that enables you to work in synergy with influencers. It doesn't have to be influencers that have 200 million followers. It doesn't have to be influencers that are highly paid, top paid in the world. It needs to involve influencers that can work for your brand. That means, though, that it has to involve a proper strategy. So influencer marketing, whether you love it or not, it's here to stay. It's evolving day after day, year after year, but influencer marketing has exploded. It is a pivotal piece of any brand's marketing in 2023. It will be even more important in 2024 because if you're like me, you're really pedaling hard to get those Instagram and Facebook numbers up organically. And the good news is that there are a lot of influencers that genuinely want to partner with you, that have the same audience that you have, that are excited to promote your products and your services. So here's what we're going to cover today. First, I want to talk a little bit more about why investing in influencer marketing is a great idea this Q4 and after this Q4. I'm going to talk to you about how to determine the success of influencer marketing. And in that, I will include why influencer marketing campaigns flop. I'm also going to give you some examples of influencer marketing partnerships that you can implement in your business, and also how to find the right influencer with some really cool tools. I'm going to walk you through negotiating and crafting agreements with influencers and how to look at influencer marketing campaign tracking and analytics. And Ben, if you want to check on me during your morning coffee, totally okay. So why even bother investing in influencer marketing this Q4? Well, there's a lot of reasons. And first of all, it's a holiday revenue goldmine. So last year, actually, Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales hit record highs. And if you're not collaborating with influencer during the peak shopping season, you're really leaving money on the table. Influencer marketing is an amazing channel for holiday seasons because, like I said, you have influencers and content creators that, again, not just the ones that have millions of followers, but the content creators that have the attention of your target audience. They are doing all of these trends, all of these videos, and they have product placements in their videos, and you're really skipping out on cash and revenue if you're not partnering up with them. With influencer marketing, you get trust, right? So you know this, you may have seen these stats. Social media users and consumers in general, they trust influencers more than they trust brands. It's, on one hand, a sad truth, because as a marketer that works with brands, I want to be like, no, please trust us. We have the great message that we want to share with you and the story that we're dying to share with you. But on the other hand, it gives us an opportunity to use an influencer to share our story. Influencers are great for niche marketing. So instead of going too broad, you have the opportunity to work with influencers that have the attention of a niche and a sub-niche audience that they talk to, that trust them. So you as a brand can really leverage someone else's audience that matches yours. Lots more reasons. So you can definitely stand out in Q4 with the ad rush. So content created by content creators and influencers is some of the highest performing. And there's a crazy stat by HubSpot. I do trust HubSpot because they invest a lot of money into their stats and data. They're saying that over the holiday period, the average person sees about 50,000 ads. 5,000 ads a day, which is a crazy stat. So influence marketing can help you stand out, right? It can also boost your brand's visibility. So with your own marketing team, even if you work with Mayple, which is obviously some of the best marketing team you can get in the world, us individually can only do so much, right? But when we're using these influencers and content creators, we have the opportunity to tap into external resources to share and spread our message and our brand visibility. Also, you can harness into the FOMO to your advantage. So millennials report about half of them that they do make a purchase due to FOMO. So when you have that influencer talking about that product, lipstick, shirt, whatever they're glasses, whatever they're promoting, millennials report that they have fear of missing out on products. Lots more reasons, like you're doubling your reach by doubling your partners. You can craft a relatable brand story when you are, again, working with a real person that your audience trusts. And the high ROI influence marketing ad actually has an ROI almost as high as email marketing. And you get feedback, right? So when you scroll through influencers' profiles on TikTok, especially, you see people engage in there and they talk about products. They talk about what their experience have been with products, and then you can get valuable feedback they can then use to continue driving excellence in your product and your business. So lots and lots of good reasons. I also listed a bunch of stats here that I thought were pretty cool. So 72% of Gen Z and millennials follow influencers on social media. So like I said, people don't necessarily engage with brands anymore, but they do engage with influencers. And 89% of marketers, they are seeing the investment being worth it, and they are going to continue investing in influencers in 2024. Another stat that I like a lot, I'm not going to go over all of them because I only have an hour of talking, but 50% of millennials trust product recommendations from influencers. That is huge, because I don't think there's a brand right now that can say 50% of millennials trust products that I recommend, but 50% of millennials, they trust products by influencers. So a lot of good stuff going on in there. So influencer marketing, good. Influencer marketing still here to stay, and influencer marketing is going to continue being big in 2024. Now, very quick recap on what exactly is influencer marketing, because I know that a lot of brands, a lot of people, when they're thinking about influencers, they're thinking about the TikTok people that are doing dances and faces. That is part of it, absolutely. But influencer really just is someone or something. It can be an organization that has the influence to make a change. An influencer is it can be a person, can be a brand, can be a blog, can be an organization, can be a community. It absolutely does not have to be a celebrity. It just has to have influence over a targeted group of individuals in order to compel purchases, to compel conversions, and that has authority and trust. That is what an influencer is. You have celebrity influencers, absolutely, but you also have the smaller influencers like the nano, the content creators, and the micro. When it comes to an influencer partnership, there's so many things you can play around with, right? So it can be unboxing videos, it can be writing a blog article, writing endorsing a product or placing a product. It can be linking a product on social media. It can be wearing a product in social media posts. That's actually something that's becoming super popular right now, where influencers are creating videos, especially on TikTok, where they place products that are not necessarily super related to what they're talking about. So it can be, think about those get ready with me videos, right? So you can have someone that's getting ready to go to work, get ready with me to go quit my job or whatever they're getting ready for. And they're wearing the glasses and earrings, the shirt, the necklaces, so on. And then people are asking them, hey, love your glasses, where are they from? And then the influencer will be like, oh, go to my storefront because I'm endorsing these glasses. That's becoming actually very, very popular. So when it comes to influencer marketing, it's not necessarily as cut and dry as it has to be. One person that has 1 million followers and I'm giving them a product and they just have to show the product. There's a lot of room to play. Now, when it comes to the success of an influencer marketing campaign, and I've done a lot of campaigns over the last few years, I'm seeing sometimes a little bit of resistance, especially from brands, and rightfully so. To be honest, I've had my fair share of flops with influencer marketing as a marketer, as a brand owner myself as well. But I did see a few common pieces when it comes to why influencer marketing campaigns don't perform well. So when it comes to influencer marketing, the biggest frustration that I see from brands is they're sending products to influencers, but they don't really set clear expectations. The communication is not there, and then they're like, oh, well, I was hoping they're going to make a reel, or I was hoping they're going to post in their profile, and that doesn't happen. When I see the frustration happening from influencers is, well, I was hoping the brand will send me some money for this. I'm not going to do a video if they're not going to send me some money. And then some of the comments that I hear and see sometimes is, there's a song I absolutely detest where with a small business, it costs that much because it takes me I don't know how many hours, and then it's this attitude that likes and shares are not going to pay my bills. They can when you convert those likes and shares into purchases. So when I see influencer marketing campaigns completely flop, it's usually because brands are not selecting influencers that are aligned with their brand or wouldn't normally use their product, right? So if I am and I know anybody can use any product, but when I am a beauty influencer and my community is interested in beauty, the best things that I can promote would be beauty products, fashion, maybe, right? Sometimes I see brands not evaluating the influencer's target audience. So there are tools right now on the market that you can use to look at an influencer, their niche, but also what their target audience is interested in, right? Because what you want to make sure is that you align on a target audience. Also pushing a rigid script. So there is a difference between I want to control the narrative and I want you to say these exact words, right? Because that influencer has created a community of followers based on their personality. So you have to leave them a little bit of room for playing, a little bit of room for being creative. Also, when you are not setting up proper tracking, like URLs or landing pages or codes and so on, and failing to set the terms before the campaign actually starts is one of the reasons why I see influencer campaigns not working. So in order to create an influencer marketing playbook that actually works, and this has been tried and tested, honestly, hundreds of times with so many influencers, the first thing you want to do is determine your goals. So just like every other marketing piece in your business, you need to know what you want. Why do you want to have an influencer partnership? Is it because Sandra said it on a Mayple webinar? Thank you very much, but it needs to be a little bit more than that. You need to know what you want out of this. Do you want direct sales? Because then you're going to have to pay. Do you just want some content creation so you can use in your ads creative? Or do you want to increase your email signups? So whatever the goal is, you need to know what the goal is before you start an influencer marketing campaign. Second, you're going to have to determine the budget. Even if your budget is extremely small, like I can only gift influencers $100 worth of product, that's fine. But determine your budget, because your budget will be tied into your goals, right? And it will be tied into those expectations that you're going to communicate to the influencer. And it's going to determine what kind of influencers you're going to select for your brand, right? Because unfortunately, I don't think Bella Porch will take only $100 worth of products. Some of these influencers say they cost 20 grand for one campaign. Then you have to select the right influencers, right? So who are you really looking for? Are you looking for a macro influencer, someone that has like 500,000 followers? Are you looking for a micro influencer, someone that has maybe 20,000 followers? Are you looking for just a content creator where you don't even care about how many followers they have? All you care about is some new, fresh content you want to create for your ads, for your email, for your Pinterest. Then you want to set up an agreement. So I always suggest drafting up an agreement, because first of all, you are creating accountability. So I've actually had a situation last year where we gifted an influencer about $5,000 worth of product. She received it, and then she says, I don't like it, so I'm just going to return the product so you can pay me $5,000 for this. And I said, absolutely not. It was not in our agreement, but I will definitely consider this in our future partnership. So she had to uphold her agreement. So it creates accountability. It also shows professionalism, and it shows that you're serious about it. And it also allows you to gauge how serious the influencer is about this partnership. And then tracking and analytics, just like every other marketing campaign, even if it's one thing that you're tracking, you're only tracking impressions, you're only tracking sales, you're only tracking email signups, have some tracking set up with your influencer marketing campaigns. And that is the formula for influencer marketing success. So let's dive a little bit deeper into it. When I say determining your goals of your influencer campaign, so again, influencer marketing has to be treated with the same respect and attention as every other marketing piece. It is no longer, I'm going to send an influencer some products and we're going to see what happens. It has to be a marketing strategy. So it has to be clear, it has to be actionable, and it has to include timelines, just like every other marketing campaign you create. So marketing campaigns or influencer marketing campaigns in general can have these master goals. So it can be with the purpose of SEO and backlinking, direct sales, maybe content creation, increasing ratings. So I've used this for PR and reputation management. Maybe increasing followers or group members. That's like a master goal. But an actionable goal would be something like, I want to increase user engagement, user-generated content by 5 videos and 10 photos per week. That is my goal. So then when that is your goal, you don't care necessarily how many followers your influencer or content creator has, because what you need to do is increase your content creation so you can use those creatives in your ads, for instance. Another good goal can be something like, I want to increase impressions by 30% per month, or I want to gain 700 more clicks from Instagram to my website. I want to make $10,000 in sales from influencer marketing this month, or I want to gain 500 subscribers on email this month, or I want to gain 300 new Facebook group members. Those are clear and actionable influencer goals. Influencer goals that are not clear or actionable would be something like increase user-generated content by sending products to influencers. Oops. I accidentally deleted my emojis on this slide because I had an increasing, like more and more upset emoji. To the point where I was crying, because the last one makes me cry. But an influencer goal that is not clear and actionable can be something like, I want to increase user-generated content by sending products to influencers. That's great, but by how much, right? I want to get more brand awareness from influencer partnerships. Okay. I want to increase followers by paying an influencers to post about our brand. That's great, but how many followers? So what is your metric for success, right? And then my absolute favorite that I do not like is, I want to increase ROI from influencer partnerships. And okay, well, what is your ROI right now? What is a good ROI? What ROI do you get from other marketing? And how are you going to compare to the money that you're paying into influencers, right? So this is the favorite buzz term in influencer marketing is, if I'm not seeing ROI, then I'm not paying that influencer. But then ROI needs to be defined. What is going to be your ROI? Because your ROI can also just be impressions, right? If that's what you're after. Now, once you have the goal that's clear and actionable, you want to determine your campaign budget. So just like every other marketing initiative, your budget needs to be attributed to your email, to your influencer campaign. So a budget will include a monetary value that can be cash directly paid to an influencer, and or getting value, the value of the products that are gifted. Now, your budgets will need to be determined prior to starting an influencer campaign. That is my, that's what I've seen that works the best, because if you're just kind of like, okay, I want to like start some influencer marketing, maybe if it's your first time, you don't really know what influencers charge, and sure, you can kind of, ask influencers and see what they charge and so on, but do your research before, because you have more leverage when you do your research before. So determine what budget you have, because if you what can happen when you don't determine your budget is, and I've seen this happen quite a few times, you come across an influencer, they seem like a great fit, there may be a little bit more than you wanted to pay, but you go with them because they have a lot of followers, and then you don't get that ROI that wasn't clear and actionable in the first place, and you're like, oh, influencer marketing doesn't work, right? And then you just kind of like drop it until you go on a Mayple webinar and Sandra's talking about influence marketing. You're like, oh, I got to start influence marketing again. So determine your budget and stick to that budget, just like you do with ads, right? So when you start ads, you don't usually go like, I'm just going to like see what happens. No, you usually say, okay, after $1,000 or $5,000, I'm going to make a decision on X, Y, Z in ads, right? So I would suggest doing the same with influence marketing. Determine your budget at the beginning. Be organized and strategic. Then you select the right influencers. What does the right influencer even mean? Well, the right influencer means an influencer that aligns with your brand, that has the same target audience as you, that has built an audience they have influence over, and that aligns with your campaign goal and your campaign budget. So I recommend using tools for selecting the right influencers. I wrote a Mayple article a few months ago that I included in this presentation that you can access, with 21 influencer marketing tools based on your needs. So influencer marketing tools can range from $50 a month to honestly $50,000 a month if you want to go super wide and far. Typically, the tools that I use per brand will cost me anywhere between $250 to $1,000 per brand, depending on how many influencers you want to work with. So I suggest using a tool. If you have a very big community on, let's say, your Facebook group or your Instagram, and you want to get some content creation done, or you have a good email list and you want to send out some emails to your VIP subscribers and ask them if you want to create some content, that's fine. But using a tool and spending a little bit of money on a tool, I would say will save you a lot of time where you can spend on doing other strategic marketing things. So when you're selecting the right influencers, you want to look for, again, something that aligns with your brand goals, with your campaign goals, with your brand. They have the same audience, and don't get too tangled up into the numbers of followers, but their engagement rate. How are they posting? How are they communicating? And use a tool for that. You want to do some research. So use an analytics tool to kind of like curate a list. So let's say you are a fashion brand and your target audience is Sarah. She's 28 years old. She likes fashion, traveling, and I forgot what she likes. She likes Bella Porch and she likes Pilates. So we would go for influencers that are influencers that have an audience that are interested in fashion, influencer that talks about fashion, influencer that has a certain number of followers based on your goals, and then just kind of pre-select them. Just get the list to curate something for you. By the way, most influencer marketing tools, they will have some sort of a free trial. So try a couple, see which one works for you. I had to try a few until I found the ones that work for me. And just get a spreadsheet going and then go analyze them. And then engage and communicate with them. So this is one thing that you can definitely do with AI. I see a lot of AI tools capable of doing this right now, and a lot of tools that have this embedded in them. But I will tell you, maybe this is coming from the salesperson in me. I was a salesperson before I was a marketer. Human engagement does not, it just can't compare to anything, right? So when you are engaging with an influencer and you are authentic and you're like, hey, Ben, I love the articles you're writing on marketing. I would love to pitch to you this product of ours that is an influencer marketing platform, let's say, right? It's just so much more authentic. So also, when you are there in the trenches, maybe not you, but someone from your team, you'll get that feedback from influencers to see how they respond to you, right? Now, if you are a bigger brand and you have a budget and you can use a tool like Grin, for instance, is one of the best ones where they manage campaigns for you. So you can actually send campaigns in bulk, of course, to 50, 100, 200 influencers at a time. But I would say if you're just starting with influencer marketing, try to reach out in a human fashion first. I always find that I get the best results when I'm talking to someone one-on-one. And then it's the agreement stage. So just an overview here with attribution of a good for you influencer, has real followers, same audience as you, creates relevant content, has an engaged audience, is authentic, and is comfortable sharing numbers with you. If they don't want to share numbers, it's a little bit of a red flag. Red flag alert. And size doesn't always matter, folks. An influencer with a smaller but an engaged following might be a better fit for you than an influencer with 1 million followers that does not have an engaged audience. I found that. Yes, Grin. Grin is really good. They're big. They're one of my favorite. It has to be I think a commitment of a few months, but they're very, very good. The one that I was showing on my screen was called Modash. I find Modash to be great for growing brands. It costs anywhere between like $200 and $500 a month. I believe Grin will run you about $1,000 plus. But Grin allows you to do influencer marketing at scale. I really like them. I respect them. I get their marketing a lot, and I've worked with them. Yeah, my pleasure. So then you have the pre-selection. So this is typically how a tool like Grin, like Modash, like the 21 that I wrote in that articles would look like. It would just be a bunch of pre-selection criteria, and then it will generate a list of influencers for you. And then in some form or another, you're going to have the opportunity to look deeper into their analytics. So for Modash here specifically, I can see their followers, their engagement, what they talk about. I can also print out like a PDF of like 10 pages about their audience and so on. So every tool that I listed in that article has some sort of a deep dive into analytics. So you want to pay attention to the stats that matter to you again, right? So that's why I'm so particular and pressing about this. Determine your goals, what exactly you want to achieve with this influencer, and look for those stats that matter to you. And then communication. So this would be a message that has worked for my team. Hey, Manal, this is Tamara from Brand. Hope you're well. We're looking to form partnerships with a few influencers. I was wondering if you'd be keen on receiving some free products in exchange for some content from you. Thank you. So when I first started reaching out to influencers, whether it's manually or through Grin or to any other, mass, don't go into details. Don't say, hey, I want to gift you $500 for the products. I want like 3 reels and 5 stories and a lot. No. All you want to know is, are they open for a partnership right now? Because they're going to have to vet you just as much as you want to vet them, right? So the first thing you want to do is send out a message. Again, it can be automated with AI. It can be written by you, and say, hey, influencer, I love your content, particularly this one. My name is, and I'm looking to form a partnership with you. Are you open? That's the first stage. When you say yes, perfect. Send me your email address. I'm going to send you some information, and then you can get into the details. But first step, don't scare them off. Don't send them a long email or message. Just say, are you interested? That's it. Then you want to have the agreement. So you talk to this person. Yes, I'm interested. I want to receive some products from you. Perfect. Cool. I have some skincare that I want you to try. Here's what's on my mind. I want you to create a reel. I want you to create 5 photos, and I want you to post one of them on Instagram. And I'm going to send you a brief, and I'm going to send you a mood board, and I'm going to send you an agreement. Why a brief and a mood board? Well, because you want to control the narrative of what's being said about your brand online. So there will be specific terms, verbiage that you want to have out there that maybe the influencers are not going to pick up just from your website. So try to control the narrative about what's being said about your brand online in general, by the way, not just with influencer marketing. A mood board is because you want to have your content align with your already, existing branding. And then the contract, the agreement, is there to set the clear deliverables. So what are we doing? What are the payment terms? Who has the content ownership, and whether or not you want that exclusivity, and then the termination clauses. Yes, you will have a replay of this presentation. I believe Ben is going to upload it on YouTube in the next few days. And perfect. And so this is a sample agreement. By the way, I am the person that doesn't like fancy. I can't design to save my life. So I will rather have just a Word doc, all of the deliverables in there, than having something super fancy, right? Word doc is fine. PDF, either sign it or reply to this email and agree. Just get it over with, but have something in there. And then send them a mood board, because if you send them a mood board, they will create content. Of course, the content has to align with their brand as well and their feeds, but you've already pre-selected them based on that, so you should. But then send them a mood board of what you kind of have in mind, right? And in the mood board, you want to include brand colors, brand themes, any sort of imagery, tone and voice. Is it soft? Is it cute? You know what I mean? So we had, for instance, 2 candle companies that are owned by the same company that we've done a lot of influence marketing with. And we were looking for people that love candles. But one of the brands was very Southern, like y'all Kentucky barbecue and apple pie type of homey vibe. And the other brand was very much LA, yoga, green smoothies, super different. Even though it was the same company that own both, super different influencers and super different target audiences. So you want to make sure that you are communicating the brand voice with these influencers in your brief. I don't know if it's too small for you to see here, but this is the like a sample, agreement mood board brief that I was sent. Again, very, very plain, like lay out the expectation. Do not give them pages and pages, and unless, of course, when you have a very big influencer campaign that's worth $20,000-$30,000 for you, that's when they usually have a brand manager and they have their own contracts and agreements as well. This is setting up your campaigns right now with growing brands, right? So very different than Bella Porch that has brand managers, I'm assuming. Super simple. Just get a message across. Doesn't have to be fancy. It has to be clear, straightforward, outline collaboration terms. No, like no sneakiness. Just what you discussed in email, discuss in this agreement. And tools for influencer discovery. I outlined a bunch here. So all of these, I have them included in that article. In that article, I review them and I tell you what they're the best for, but these are just like some ideas. There's not one size fits all. Personally, currently I work with Modash because I'm an agency and it enables me to work with multiple accounts very easily, very seamlessly. And I find that the price versus quality is pretty fair. Like I said, if you are looking to do influence marketing at scale, Grin has been one of my favorite ones. And the other ones, Upfluence is very good too. Collapser is very good too. Have a look at a few of them. Like I said, most of them will have some sort of a free feature or a free trial, and some of the bigger ones will give you even a demo. And then track and measure your campaigns, okay? So when you track and measure your campaigns, set up clear KPIs. So even if your KPI is, I want to get 30% more impressions, perfect, right? But set up those KPIs. So you don't have to do anything super fancy. If you are a Shopify store owner and you're working with maybe some of these apps, some of these will have like an integration with Shopify, for instance. You can get like unique codes, but you don't have to do anything fancy. You can literally just use an UTM link to track your influencer metrics. Are you guys not hearing me? I can send you a sample resource for agreement template. I can send you mine, and I can definitely connect with you on the meditation retreat. Okay, you can hear me perfect. Yeah, I can do that. Yes, we can connect if you want. Done. Perfect. Thank you. I've worked with meditation niche. I've actually used to have a store in the meditation niche, so. And I've attended some retreats as well. So I'm happy to connect with you. Perfect. Thank you. Everyone can hear me. Awesome. So set clear goals, nothing fancy. Tracking tools can be a UTM, but know what you want to track and then tracking. No worries. No worries, Max. I'd like to add influencer marketing campaigns numbers in the monthly reporting. And I also like to have regular check-ins, especially if you're doing an influencer campaign or influencer partnership that is longer term. Have regular check-ins. Don't wait until the influencer campaign is 2 months in. They've done a few posts and you're like, actually, your post sucked. See how the first one goes. Then give feedback. Talk to the influencer. Have some check-ins. And by the way, influencers that are serious about the business will go on calls with you. And then assess the long term, right? So maybe you didn't get the sales you wanted right now, but you're definitely seeing an increase in other metrics. You're seeing an increase in subscribes, right? Email marketing, subscribes, maybe more followers, more group members. So again, decide what's important for you and track it, just like you track every other piece of marketing. So some KPIs you can measure would be engagement rate. I think that's important when you have an influencer piece of content. Reach and impressions. So if you are using influencers, not just for content creation, but for reach and brand awareness, see what the reach of their content, your content or your product and their content is. Conversion rate. So are people clicking? Are people buying? Are people subscribing? Click-through rate. For any links shared by the influencer. ROI, the favorite word of everybody, ROI. So that will be when you pay, by the way. When you're doing unpaid campaigns, you're just gifting, will be a little bit harder to get sales from that. Follower growth is, of course, if influencers are active on social media and they have a large community on social media and they're promoting you, you should see some sort of follower growth from their campaigns. Content performance. So is the content that the influencer is sharing performing well, right? Mentions and brand sentiment. Turn on those Google, how do you call them? Those, oh my God, I can't talk tonight. Those notification, Google notification to see, are you having more brand mentions? Are people talking about you on Twitter? And also customer lifetime value, right? So there are some brands that are having a little bit of a harder time getting that ROI right away. So one that I can think right now is skincare. It's so hard for skincare ads to give you the ROI that you want from the first buy, right? But with skincare, we know that people will buy every 3 to 4 months. They will replenish the product. So when you are running an ad, whether it's an influencer ad or Facebook ad or a Google ad or a YouTube ad or an Instagram ad, usually with skincare, you are looking at hopefully covering your costs. And then you're looking at sending those replenishing emails every 2-3 months. And then you're looking at sending those upsell emails, right? So if you are in a niche where it's really hard to make the money back, the ROI back right away, you want to look at the customer lifetime value. I need a latte. Yes, I do. I have my water here. A green smoothie in LA sounds good. It does sound good. I'm in beautiful Croatia right now, and I don't think on this small island I'm going to find at this hour a green smoothie, but I'm going to do the European mineral water, which I think it's the best. And then referral traffic, cost per acquisition. So if you're doing paid campaigns, you want to see how much it costs you to acquire a new customer. And then audience demographics, right? So what audience are we posting these content pieces in front of that is so engaging with our product right now? So these are some examples of KPIs that you can measure. So influencer trends for 2024 and the rest of 2023 before we go to scrutinizing you for questions. Social listening and social involvement. So that will grow. Social media users love interacting with brands and they love seeing their human side. So the one example, I don't know if you've seen Ryan Air on TikTok. They're my favorite. They make fun of themselves more than others make fun of them, which is a lot, by the way. So brands that are social listening, they're winning right now. Product placement among other topics. So that's what I'm thinking about, those get ready with me videos, right? So you have someone like, get ready with me to go quit my job, or get ready with me to go tell my boss that I should just like act my way, and then they're like putting lipstick on and like, I love this lipstick. Like I got it from blah, blah. So they're not really going and blatantly like promoting your lipstick, but they are saying, yeah, like this lipstick has worked for me, whatever. So this actually got me thinking the other day when I was doing, putting together my presentation. I was talking to someone from my team, and I was thinking that we really came to the conclusion that in 2024, even though right now, as a brand, you've probably seen that social media stats, engagement especially, is decreasing, like constantly. And I've seen it over the years too. I think it will be even more critical to have the right information on social media, because think about it this way. You're partnering up with influencers. They are including your products in some videos they're creating, and people are going to ask them about the products, or they're going to mention your products. So what are people going to do next? They're going to go look up your product, right? So by the way, fun fact, Facebook is the second place where people go look for products for brands after Google. So what you want to have is every channel is optimized with all the information that a prospect will need in order to make a purchase with you. So when I'm thinking product placement among other topics, I'm thinking, okay, so I'm going to have my product on influencer videos or blog articles or email lists or email campaigns. So what do I need to do in my other side of marketing to make sure that these people that come from these influencers will convert, right? So that's where you want to look at the stats and the data. So what is the demographic? What is the target audience of this influencer? Just so I make sure that I speak their language. Is it the hey y'all candles, or is it the green smoothie in LA candles, right? So based on that information and that influencer campaign, you're going to make sure that your social media aligns. Interest in TikTok will increase. I can attest to that at a personal level and at a marketer level. People love TikTok. It's just attention spans are very, very short, and then people just love scroll, 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 scroll. And then micro and nano influencers. So these are the influencers that have like 10,000 followers, maybe less, that have sub niches of followers. So that, Dawn, may be where you want to go for your meditation retreats, right? Because you don't want to go for just someone that likes yoga. You want to go for someone that likes not just yoga, but also likes, they're looking at Tibetan bowls. They're following all these like Tibetan bowl accounts on TikTok. They're looking at people that have gone to different meditation retreats in the world and so on. TikTok has become a more effective product search engine compared to Google. It's crazy. TikTok is just taking over. So pay attention to it. It's not just a dancing app for teenagers anymore. So just some examples of good campaigns. So I don't know if you can see here on my screen. I loved this LinkedIn post. So there is this company called Dude Wipes. They're wipes, like baby wipes, but for dudes. And there was a story that blew up last week with a plane that had to turn around. I think they were going from somewhere in the States to Barcelona. And someone unfortunately had not only soiled themselves, but they have soiled the entire like walkway in the plane. And it was a big story. And Dude Wipes, they commented on this article and said, even we don't have enough wipes for this. So that, in my opinion, is the perfect example of, as gross as it sounds. So I'm just imagining this marketing person that has all of these alerts on Google for anything that has to do with, accidents and Taco Bell, and you get the idea. My favorite influencer is a dog. Yes, I love those dog influencers. I love when they see that they put the food in their bowls and it's all like raw. Like, oh, I love that. Yes. My favorite influencer is the cat that has a camera and they just go about the backyard and then meet other cats. So, and then Ryanair. Ryanair is one of the best ones, in my opinion. And then other examples, and I'm almost done here. We can go to Q&A time. Would be this was a traditional partnership in a very micro niche. So this is a company that creates fancy napkins, and their napkins are used a lot in private jets. So this was an influencer campaign done by an air flight attendant that only works with private jets. This is a product placement where they're just having a conversation about billions, and then he's wearing the hat. And I thought I had a Snoop Dogg one here. One of our clients has a unboxing hat by Snoop Dogg is unboxing it. But yeah, if you are ready to ride the wave of Q4 buying frenzy, influencer marketing is where it's at. So I know that I overdid it with the 30-minute allocated time of talking, but could be worse in case you've attended my first webinar. So let's take some questions.
Great job, Sandra. I love the presentation. Great examples. And now we're going to do questions. Please, everybody, put all your questions in the chat. Could be anything. And it's going to take us a few minutes, but I'm going to ask the first question. And that is, what is the biggest success you've seen with influencer marketing? And what has been your biggest, most embarrassing flop ever?
Oh, woohoo. Okay. I like this. Okay. So the biggest success that I've seen with influencer marketing, actually, we had a brand that we launched with just influencer marketing, and it may not seem much, but this was a new brand, and it was over $30,000 in the first day of sales. And all we did was line up influencers. It was household accessories, and we lined up influencers, and we had a 30,000 something first day. So when you start your brand, you know how hard it is to go from $0 to $10,000. The most embarrassing one probably has been, thankfully, I don't have anything super, super, super embarrassing, but I would say I sent the wrong branding guide from, it was the wrong branding guide, and they're like, this is completely weird. That would be it. Or I was really embarrassed to my client when I had that one influencer that said, no, I'm sending the product back and you're going to pay me $5,000, because that was on me as the marketer to find the right influencers for them. And that was embarrassing on me. But I can't say I don't have anything super, super embarrassing flop. That would be what I would consider a big flop. Okay. How do you determine the appropriate amount to offer high-profile influencers with 400K followers or more? Okay, so I'll go back to your goal. What is your goal? Is your goal sales? Is your goal subscribes? Is your goal something else? I usually go by, so in your brand, you have an ideal cost per acquisition when it comes to sales, right? So you have your cost per acquisitions for your Google ads, for your YouTube ads, for your Facebook ads. Personally, I would go around that rate, right? So if, let's say, you want to have 3x ROI, then I would say if someone with a high profile is charging $10,000, then you want to see about $30,000 in direct sales from them. But I would go back to your goals, and I would compare to your other ad budgets. Can you talk a bit how to negotiate if an influencer quotes you a higher rate than you think they are worth based on market rates? So ask for their numbers and ask them for analytics. So say specifically, this is what I'm looking for. Influencer, influencer Ben, I love what you're doing. I love your content. However, it is a little bit out of our budget. So one way you can go about it is, look, from your numbers, I know that our customers need to see a product or an ad or a placement X number of times before they make a purchase, and your numbers just don't work with that. Is there any way we can start with something smaller to see the real results from your campaign with our partnership, and then we can collaborate. We can discuss increasing that in future campaigns. We can also do a payment term where they can get a chunk of sales. So something along the lines of, it's a little bit out of our budget. We really think we'll be good partners. I have full confidence that, moving forward in our long-term partnership, we're going to be able to see that ROI. To start with, would it be, do you think it's fair that I would pay you X amount of upfront, but then you will also get a percentage of every sale that is derived from your direct input? What is your opinion on using promo codes so you can track individual sales from each influencer? Yeah, absolutely. Go for it. Yeah, for sure. Is it appropriate to ask influencers for evidence of their ability to move product if sales is your goal? Yes, it is. Ask for numbers. If they're asking for money, ask for numbers. Should influencers successful be? Yes, they should be able to provide that. Absolutely. Absolutely. If an influencer says, well, I have 500,000 followers, that's what you need to know. No, that doesn't give me enough information. So ask for numbers. When you're spending money, ask for numbers. If you're spending like $500 or less on creating content, that's different. But if you're looking at thousands, absolutely ask for numbers, ask for previous campaigns. There are influencer campaigns that cost $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. Ask for references, ask for referrals. It's a business partnership. What is your experience with influencer marketplaces like Upfluence in terms of identifying audiences? Yes, I have used a bunch of these. I haven't played around with Upfluence specifically, but I've used a bunch of these, and I think that it gives you it gives you the information that you need. But I will always ask for their particular stats from their accounts because those are the most accurate. So yeah, I'm totally up for marketplaces. Guidance on finding influencers in meditation retreat sector is very different than impulse buys. Yeah, I would meditation retreat. So I would go for as niche as you can. So like I said, maybe meditation bowls, those accounts that have meditation quotes. You may not want to go for the sales right away, but you may want to, so you may not want to go for the bookings of the retreats right away, but you may want to use influencers to send them to your, let's say, gated content, get them on email marketing. Email marketing is great for conversion. So perhaps you can find influencers that are very niche and specific to send them to your other assets, and then you convert them on your own. That's what's on my mind. Yes. I personally, especially if you're just starting with influencer marketing, I prefer multiple small influencers and one big one. Because especially if you're just starting, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you want. You may discover that you want something else. So it's always a good idea to test. So yeah, if let's say you've never done influencer marketing, you've done very limited influence marketing, you're like, okay, I want to do some stuff for the holidays now. I would say find five content creators. Think about your primary goal. So let's say your primary goal is maybe sales or email signups. Secondary goal would be some content creation, and then go from there. Bigger influencers, I would say they're great when you're already established and growing business. You have a big launch coming up. You have the money to spend. You're not over analyzing that $1, $2, $3, $5, $10,000, and you're like, yeah, I'm totally ready to move forward with it. I've worked with this influencer before, or I have very good references for them. What are the best upcoming niches that are seeing success in influencers? Ooh, that is a very good question. So what I'm seeing is actually sub niches. So not just, let's talk about meditation, right? Not just the meditation, but rather meditation retreats, or just the bowls, or just the mala bracelets. So influencers that are oddly specific to your problems are growing right now. So nano and micro influencers will be growing in 2024, and the more specific you can get, the better. So instead of just like, let's say, pet influencers, you're looking at pet influencers that feed their dog raw food. That would be like a micro niche. What AI tools are you using right now? I use it to write copy, but it feels powerful enough to identify campaign strategies. I love ChatGPT. I've used ChatGPT to create outreach messages. I've used ChatGPT to basically copy paste like an influencer spreadsheet and say, okay, give me the top influencers that have these attributes, for instance. And I can give you a pinpointed example right now, but I know some of these bigger marketplaces and products, they have some AI embedded into them for finding influencers and for writing the messages to outreach influencers. ChatGPT, I love it. Lighting company, home decor. Ooh. A lot of stuff. So what I've done in home decor before, I actually found an influencer. She is a real estate agent in Miami, only for luxury real estate. So we had comforters that we were promoting, and those comforters range from $3,000 to $20,000. So that was a perfect match, because she always posts about like penthouses in like Miami, and then she posted about these comforters. So for lighting company and home decor, I wouldn't go just for people that love home decor. I would go for people that love something specific. So if there's something in your home decor that is very unique to as opposed to your competitors, I would go for that. I've done with influencer marketing, we've done very well with candles. So I find that people that love their homes, they love to promote products in their homes. So you can go so what I'm trying to get at is, don't just go for someone that likes the product, but go for the lifestyle. So go maybe for a specific type of home decor. Go for the person that is cooking and needs really good lighting. Go for the person that is remodeling their cottage and needs good lighting. Go for the person that has the audience that you're looking for. Do you recommend doing influencer marketing even though we are from the construction industry and our audience is a bit older compared to Gen Z? Yeah, influencer marketing is not limited to just Gen Z. So one of the hardest, I'll call them the hardest niches that I'm working with right now, because there was definitely a learning curve for me, is boating, and specifically boat wiring. So when you think about boat wiring, I'm not thinking about like Sandra that sips her latte. I'm thinking about my dad that loves boats, and he's close to 60. So if there are people or influencers in your niche, then there are people that are interested in what they have to say, right? So it may not be TikTok for you. It may be YouTube. It may be Twitter. Although I've seen a lot of construction, especially men without shirts on TikTok, that are doing quite well with influencer marketing and building their communities. So yeah, absolutely. If there are influencers and they have a community, they have an audience, then go for it. Age is just a number. Cool.
Amazing. Sandra, you the bomb. I don't know if we even stumped you.
Yeah,
What's the problem?
you know, the one thing that stumped me today is these orange teeth of mine.
Orange teeth. Oh, mine doesn't work. All right, so everybody, I put a link in the comments, so you could click on the link and schedule a conversation and meet, either work with Sandra or work with any of our other amazing experts. We have a ton of amazing experts,
Yeah.
and it really helps because you can beat the learning curve instead of, let's say you're new at TikTok campaigns. So instead of trying yourself or hiring some agency that you don't know if they're good or not, you just base it on their fancy case studies, you can talk to us and we can match you with an expert that we can show you their actual data from their campaigns.
Yeah.
And so just like what Sandra knows what she's talking about. And all that's based on experience. It's not guesswork. It's not some philosophical Googled it, ChatGPT stuff. So we'd love to also offer you $250 off. There's a coupon code and the link. And any other questions you have, more than welcome to put it as a comment on the YouTube video or leave it on our LinkedIn or reach out to Sandra on LinkedIn as well. And we would love to help you in any way we can. And we would love to see you next week at our event next week. It's going to be also pretty cool.
Thank you so much, Ben. Thank you, everybody. It was a pleasure to be here today, and I hope you learned a little bit from here. I'm just going to answer one last question I saw come in. Where do I see the most ROI? Email marketing. Sorry, I know it's an influencer. I know it's an influencer webinar, but email marketing still is the biggest ROI piece in marketing. So use your influence, but influencer marketing is coming in as a close second. So use your influencer marketing to get the stats that you want and get those conversions into build your own assets, guys. Build your own assets, so then you can convert them and control the narrative, and you don't rely on Facebook's moodiness or Google's prices to get your sales. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. And yeah, we'll stay connected. Reach out to me if you want to talk more about the meditation, because I think that was the one that stumped me. I think I'm going to have some more ideas. And anyone else, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn as well. I'm happy to answer questions. Thank you. And maybe
for next one, we'll do a meditation.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.